Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is my setup for my March bullet journal pages for 2022, and the theme that I am doing is Winnie the Pooh and Winnie the Pooh illustrations, which were originally done by E.H. Shepard for A.A. Milne's children's series Winnie the Pooh. For March, I am doing a collaboration with Lynette Clark. She is another bullet journal YouTuber, and you should definitely check out her channel if you like the illustration side of my bullet journal themes. Some of my favorite videos that she's done have been a Corpse Bride theme she just did for February. She did a Nightmare Before Christmas theme, which was super beautiful, and she does these very helpful paint with me and super beginner friendly bullet journal videos, in addition to the more elaborate illustrated styles. So I'll be showing a few of her clips later, but essentially we both did a Winnie the Pooh theme for March, and we both are doing the same cover page illustration, and we picked the same quote to see kind of how we would approach the same illustrator and the same kind of general concept, and see how we would do it differently. And I always just think that's so interesting when different artists are given the same kind of inspiration or source material. It just says so much about your individual style and your individual design taste as to how you interpret that. So if you like my style, you should definitely go check her out. So for the cover page, I'm doing a very classic picture from the series. This is Christopher Robin and Pooh looking down at the water in the 100-acre wood. And for the style, I decided to stick with a very simple black and white, sketchy, very loose, in French you would say en train de se faire, which is kind of in the middle of being made, or you can see the lines of the anatomy, you can see like the scribbles that make up the forms, and I just really love this style. I think it looks so beautiful. I actually do come back in later and I add yellow to all of the Winnie the Pooh figures, just because I felt like it was looking too minimalist, a little bit too monochrome, and my style is typically a little bit more elaborate. However, I do sort of regret that. I think it looks really nice in the black and white. It looks okay with the yellow, but now I know I need to trust my instincts and let it be the style that I've chosen, which is always a good thing to learn as you experiment with different art styles. And then the quote we chose was, "Sometimes the smallest things take up the most room in your heart." Now that I've finished the cover page, I'm going to bop over to a feature of Lynette's work. So this is some clips from her February Plan With Me. She actually has been doing 2 Plan With Me's every month, one more beginner friendly, super simple, and then one that's more elaborate, ornate, more the Kellyanne style, where it's really super extra. And I just love the super elaborate artwork. And some of the things I love about Lynette's style is she has spectacular painting. I actually should really study her painting because wow, it is gorgeous. The watercolor, she has some really pretty paint with me's that she did last fall. She did a paint a haunted house with me, which was super beautiful. And I love her dedication to a theme. So for this Corpse Bride theme, some people do a theme and they'll just kind of whack some stickers on there. Lynette will go all out and she will paint each page and do the custom little, the little habit trackers. She'll give each one a custom thing that matches the theme. And yeah, it's just super inspiring to watch her channel as someone who likes to do very art-inspired bullet journaling. I just really love her content. I love that I found another small bullet journal creator who does similar kind of content to me, where it's really illustration focused and super elaborate and probably extra, but yeah, I just really love her channel, and I think if you like mine, you will probably love her channel as well. So this next page has my goals and tasks on the left, and then my habit tracker on the right. And for the illustrations, I did, the one on the left is actually from one of the first editions of Winnie the Pooh. It's from the cover, and you've got Christopher Robin pulling Pooh out of a hole in the ground. He's stuck. I haven't actually read Winnie the Pooh in a really, really long time. So I don't remember exactly what was happening. And then in the opposite corner, you've got Pooh kind of floating on away with a balloon. I want to say he was trying to get to a beehive and the bees like chased him away or something like that. He was trying to get the honey. And then for the quote on the habit tracker, I wrote, "You can't stay in your corner of the forest waiting for others to come to you. You have to go to them sometimes," which is a quote from Christopher Robin. And for my font, this wasn't intentional, but it's actually starting to look sort of like a book I keep seeing in bookstores. I never actually get it, but I always flip through it. And to be honest, at this point, I probably should get it because it's like affecting me artistically. But the book is called The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse by Charles Maxey. And it has this similar font to what I am sort of unintentionally doing. I was trying to do something that was sort of Pooh, but not quite as cutesy, something a little bit more grown up, and that matched the black and white sketchy aesthetic. But it ended up looking very similar to The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse font. So if you've never heard of that, you should definitely check it out. I really need to check it out because this is all from just flipping through it every time I go into a bookstore. And yeah, I'm really enjoying how this theme is turning out thus far. I added the washi tape, a little bit of kind of a peach grid washi tape, and then I have this gold clear floral washi tape, which I decided I wanted to bring in a little bit more of the yellow, just because Pooh is yellow and he's such an integral part of obviously Winnie the Pooh, and I just felt like it wasn't quite lively enough. It was a little bit too stiff and too grown, and I wanted to bring in a teensy tiny bit of the whimsy. This next spread is for my diary, and I have this cute picture of Christopher Robin and Pooh, and technically I think Piglet is there, but I forgot he was there until I was already coloring him in, so he got a little bit colored in. And then my quote is, "I wonder what's going to happen exciting today." And then on the diary side, on the left-hand side, I actually have been trying to experiment with different ways of segmenting off large blocks of text. So lately I've been using Mildliners on every other line. However, sometimes I feel like it's a little bit too severe. So for times when I had large blocks of text in this theme, I did sort of a dashed half of a mild line on every other line. You'll see what I mean. And I do think it looks really nice with this rainy sketch on the opposite page. It almost looks like it's water streaked, or it's like the mild liner is echoing the rain on the opposite page. And then I have some handwriting washi tape, which I think adds kind of a note of grown-upness to a diary spread. Those with eagle eyes will notice that I only left enough space on my habit tracker and in my diary. I counted out the slots for 28 days. For some reason I had 28 days in my head because I'm making this in February obviously, and there's 28 days in February this year, and I hadn't updated my brain to March. So fortunately on the diary spread there was enough space for me to quickly slot in 29 through 31 at the bottom, but there was not enough space on the habit tracker. So those days are going to be a fun free-for-all, and that's actually probably for the best given that I think we're going to be moving on April 1st. So I don't think much productivity is going to be prioritized in the last couple days of March, given that, you know, at that point in the move, everybody is just kind of frantically packing and everybody is, you know, fending for themselves. And it's not really so much about habit tracking anymore. So yeah, I guess that's a word to the wise. When you're planning the next month's spread, make sure you look up the correct amount of days to put on your journal. This is another one of my favorite illustrations of Pooh and Piglet. They are walking together through the wood, and then the quote that I put with it was, "I don't feel very much like Pooh today," said Pooh. "There, there," said Piglet, "I'll bring you tea and honey until you do." And it just epitomizes, you know, good friendship and good partnership and looking after each other, and I just love the sentiment of that. And then this spread is for my playlist on the one side, on the right side, and then my expenses on the left-hand side. And for my expense tracker, I always have a description, a category, so an overarching category like clothes or food or transportation, a dollar amount, and then a date. This next spread is for my YouTube tracker checklist on the left-hand side. I just started doing this spread in February and it's been super helpful for me thus far. And the illustration that I picked to go with that is Christopher Robin pulling on his boots. And the quote is, "When you see someone putting on his big boots, you can be pretty sure that an adventure is going to happen." And then on the left-hand page, this is actually straight from Lynette's February setup. So she had this really cool kind of social media growth spread, and she had a growth tracker and she had a posting schedule. And I just love the idea of that. I think that's so smart. You know, keep yourself on track in sort of like a focused habit tracker almost. And to celebrate the small wins, you know, even a little bit of growth is better than none. So if you like this idea, definitely go check out her channel. She has tons of really cool spreads. Her self-care spread in February was actually super sweet and gave me a lot of good ideas for sure. And I can't remember if I mentioned it somewhere in this video yet, but every time I have a new month lately, I've been doing a new little symbol, which I use to check off if I've done a habit, you know, check off like on these videos, check off where I'm at in the video tracker. So the symbol that I did for February was a heart, obviously, but for March, I'm actually doing one of the little sketchy bees from when Pooh is getting carried away by the balloon. So I'm doing the little sketchy bees as my little kind of check marks in every box, and I think that's a really fun way to bring in your theme even farther into your daily use. You know, make it something really simple, something really small that kind of matches up with your theme. You could also do like a dot of a marker in a color that goes well with the theme. So I could have done like a dot in the golden marker that I was using, the Mildliner. But I really like these sketchy little bees. I think they're super cute. This next spread is sort of a general spread for moving, and I wasn't really sure what I would need here, to be honest. I was making this spread, like I said, we're going to be moving in the beginning of April, and it's mid-February as I'm making this, so we're still sort of a little far out, but I knew I was going to need these spreads in March, so I made a moving checklist on the one side. I have items that are going to go in our car when we move. I have a first day and night section. So the last time we moved, we didn't pack first day and night boxes, and it was a total mess when we got to our place and realized we didn't have any utensils, we didn't have any dishes for the cat. The cat is eating out of Tupperware. We're using like spatulas to eat our takeout. It was very funny, but it definitely shows you the need for a first day and night box. And then on the right hand side, I've got a packing inventory. So I was kind of inspired by some of these spreads from Plant-Based Brides Moving Journal. So I'm going to try and do a packing inventory where I write down what's in each box in case it takes us a while to get unpacked. That way you know from the outside of the box if it's got what you're looking for and you don't have to go digging for it. And then on the far right, I have tasks and to-dos. So I have kind of a timeline in my spreadsheet online right now, but I know that's going to change. So I've left myself a lot of space to write what I need. And then my quote for this page was, "Organizing is what you do before you do something, so that when you do it, it's not all mixed up." And I was really pleased to find a Winnie the Pooh quote that worked so well for a moving spread. And then this is my final spread of March. To be honest, I'm really not sure how much I'll use this spread, but I wanted to give myself the option. So this is my art and business to-dos on the left-hand side, and then wedding planning on the right-hand side. So my wedding isn't going to be for like over a year. We're just starting to plan it, but I'm trying to put like a wedding planning checklist on every month, just to make myself kind of take steps towards it, because I think that's one of those things that's so easy to let slip through the cracks as you're just beginning, and I don't want it to get pushed off until things start to book up. However, I know that we are going to be moving, so I think it might be a really hectic month. I'm not sure how much is going to get done on wedding planning, and I'm not sure how much is going to get done for my art business. But I made the spreads just in case I'm really having a stellar month and I get a lot done. And then my quote was, "Weeds are flowers too, once you get to know them." So that is my March plan with me for 2022 and my collaboration with Lynette Clark. I definitely encourage you to go over to her channel and check out her March video and see how we approached the same general theme. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you found something inspirational or what you're going to do for your March theme. I think March is one of those interesting months that's sort of in between. It doesn't have a really strong seasonal pull like some of the fall, winter months, and then it doesn't have the kind of bright floral summery vibes yet. So March is always an interesting one. It kind of falls in between the cracks, and I love seeing how people tackle it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.